All right, hello Wildcat Nation. It is time for the Week 8 fantasy recap. How you doing today, Tyrell?
We are vibing. Little 6 minute. Oh, what's up, Echo? There it is. Little 6 minutes in the cold tub. Felt pretty good, and we are fucking back. Not a great week last week for me, fantasy wise. So, I just got absolutely skull fucked, but we're ready to get back on track.
All right, starting off Week 1. I was up against Bellis, and I think I had the script on this one in our or prediction last week, where the Cowboys they did great, and not only did they do great, they held Cooper Cup and Puka for under 10 points combined. So when that's happening, it's just looking like a real good week. And man, the renovated stable absolutely firing.
Renovated stable box score. Just incredible. Yeah, 137, big fat numbers there. Nick Bellis just still riding the Cooper Cup Puka Nakua train. And, we were in some trade talks this week, and, he was trying to wheel and deal, but he ultimately said he is ready to ride those two out. So,
We'll
which I
see.
respect, despite maybe no Matt Stafford.
He rides as the Rams do, and it is looking tough for the Rams. But all right, matchup number 2, we had Sean and VJ, and this was a big one around that 1 seed positioning, and Sean with the rare lull week.
Yeah, yeah. Ugly, actually. Also, shout out to Patty Mahomes only putting up 11, but did not matter for Sandals at Guantanamo Bay because he's got Christian McCaffrey who's going to put up 27. So, still between the two of them, you're still almost getting 40 points. It's just bananas every week, every week.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah. I mean, just a nice dub for VJ. Feels good to win when you put up less than 100. So good for him.
feel gotta be happy with a win when Patrick Mahomes doesn't put up 12. So, and next matchup, a little bit of a upset alert. Paul finally getting the dub. Huge seeding implications for me. I know Bellis, Fuller, and I were all tied at that 3 and 4 spot, and I kind of thought Fuller was going to win this week, but man, vintage D Hop with Will Levis, and that really sealed it. I think that was the difference maker, and Paul giving the weekly high a little bit of a run.
I just don't think anyone expected 33 from D Hop there. Absolutely electric. Will Levis, dude, what's up? Xavier High School, how you doing? Yeah, just crazy. But I think Joe Mixon finally coming alive. I've been banging on Paul's door for I don't know, the last 2 weeks trying to, no, maybe even last month trying to get Joe Mixon off his hands, and he just wouldn't do it. Finally gets back to the gate. He goes, Mixon's off the table. Like, all right, Paul. So yeah, I mean his team's looking actually pretty good. He's got Kittle coming up on a bye, but yeah, big fat dub. I think that's tough for Fuller, but this is so classic, like Reality Kings just getting skull fucked by a team that maybe was in the bottom three before this, and now just drops 145 on his dome piece. Shout out to Paul, dude, getting it done.
Big win for Paul. And then your matchup, I mean, just going against the Titan. Barry's won a couple weekly highs in a row. How'd you feel about this one? Walk me through your week going through fantasy against Barry.
Not at the table, Carlos. Allen's boys just absolutely fucking dominated. They're top tier. They're clearly the A. If we could go back to that midseason report, they're just lethal, dude. Like where is the weak spot? There is no weak spot. The flex, Josh Downs still puts up enough to get it done, and Rashad White. I mean, he's getting it done every week. So there's no real weak spot. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with some bye weeks coming up. Just because I don't think he has the deepest team. But yeah, I mean, I put up 114. At least I didn't lose like 120 to 114. Like he smoked me. I just kind of looked at it, was like, yeah, I'm fucked. So it is what it is. We'll bounce back. 1.6 from Devonte Adams wasn't amazing. So,
Yeah.
you know, everybody's after Devonte. I've gotten about 17 trade requests. I just to everybody out there, he's I didn't even put him on the block. I just started getting all these texts. But I think that he's better than what everyone else is valuing him at, I think. And I would rather just like die on the sword of like set and forget. I've got Jamar Chase and Devontae Adams. I'm gonna put them in every time. And if he only gets me 4, but Chase gets me 20, whatever, average of 12 for my two wide receivers. I don't give a fuck. So I think that he's just still has the capability to drop 35. And also, like, who knows what the fuck happens with this quarterback situation? He might just start hucking to strictly Devontae Adams.
If
So
I'm
his
if I'm
stock
a
might go
rookie
up.
QB and I'm scared and things are not going well and I need comfort, I'm just throwing it to the best guy every time.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So I feel pretty good going forwards. A lot of trades happened today. I blacked out. I feel like I wasn't even teaching today. I was just like on my phone, just like, what am I gonna trade? Like it was not. I wasn't even on this planet today, and I was really happy. It was great.
Yeah, Barry's team moving forward, it's going to be when he's handling those buys, can his guys boom and outweigh the buy? But and then another big win, again, from my vantage point on the outside looking in of the playoffs, like I kind of want the guys up top to lose so I can creep in, whereas the guys on the top, if everyone just wins and the people stay low, there's like better separation. But George losing to Billy helps me get a little bit closer to sneaking into the playoffs. And it's just like such poetic justice to me that George has the absolute team of Eagles, and then Jalen Hurts also goes off and outperforms his projected for basically the difference.
Yeah, yeah. Mr. Commissioner just spot on again, 110, right on the nose. And Billy just had, the right formula. He said, I got to get 116 and I'm going to get the dub. If I get 111, I'm good. So that's what he did. And yeah, Jalen Hurts, just a fucking monster. Bill is blowing up my phone as we speak, possibly wheeling and dealing Jalen Hurts. It sounds like he's also got a deal going with Mr. Commissioner. So don't be surprised if George finally gets the tether of AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. I don't know who he'd give up. Like if he gave up Pollard,
Mm,
if he was real, no, well, it would probably have to be a Joe Burrow package. So it would probably be like Burrow and Pollard for Hurts and Kirk or something like that. I don't really know
yeah.
what he'd do, but it just like it's almost too many Eagles. Like I just at
Hurts
some
and
point it's
Devonta
not going to
Smith.
work. Yeah, maybe it's Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. Dude, imagine he just fields a full team of Eagles. I mean, they are good, but there's not enough distribution of wealth there. Um, but yeah, we'll just see. I mean, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but just moving forward, looking at week 10 for George, it's going to be fucking rough. So, but yeah, a good win for Bill. Keeps him alive as well.
And then a big one for toilet bowl implications, death in the morgue going at it, and two very high score. It's weird that this matchup each player scored more than the Sean VJ matchup. I always find some of those things like fascinating, but yeah, Trav didn't have the worst week, but Aiden just had some guys going. CeeDee Lamb finally breaking through. I'm sure you saw that one.
Sure did. Yeah, yeah, big week for him. I mean, he's got Debo and David Montgomery still out. Like the morgue actually doesn't look that bad. Who else does he have? Yeah, I mean Tyler Boyd's a hit or miss, but at least Debo and David Montgomery coming back. Like, I mean, those are some big names. Plug and play. His team's not terrible, dude. Um, Trav
Yeah,
was yeah, Trav made a deal with me. I got Gus Edwards. He got his boy, Garrett Wilson. So that'll be a nice little plug and play. Um, he'll bump Damian Pierce up probably, or Jerome Ford, um, and then get Garrett Wilson. And obviously the Jets' offense sucks, but Garrett Wilson's still putting up points. No touchdowns, still putting up 13. So it was kind of like I don't know, it was an interesting move for me. We were in very amicable trade talks and pulled the trigger on it. So
I
shout out to
feel
Trav.
I feel like Trav, his path to victory is just some like running back injuries of other players. Like Charbonnet goes in if Kenneth Walker starts getting hurt, like all of a sudden this guy bumps up to like an RB1. Um, I think that Jerome Ford, he's a handcuff. No, in Cleveland.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know if he picked him up or if it was just a handcuff, but
but
he
I think a
he
lot
is
of
the guy
guys like
now. He's the
injury.
guy.
Yeah.
Him and Kareem Hunt.
So we'll see. Yeah, if Kareem Hunt gets injured, like again, Jerome Ford, he starts getting
It's just
volume.
him solo,
If
right? Yeah.
Madison gets
So yeah,
injured, Cam Akers gets volume. So we'll have to see. And talking about how teams can do moving forward, what we have here are the current standings according to ESPN. So we got Barry at the top with a 98% chance to make the playoffs. VJ up there as well at 6-2 with an 89% chance. Based on this ESPN percentage, I was doing a little bit of number crunching myself. I think that this takes into account how many wins you have, your schedule, the points for your projected points for the rest of the season, your matchup and like kind of strength of schedule rest of the way through, and it takes all that into consideration to give you the chance of like you making the playoffs. Um, then we've got the 5-3 gang between you, Sean, and George. You are looking 83% chance to make it in. Sean 71, which was a little bit surprising, but he does have a little bit of a tough schedule. And then the commish with a 78% chance. The stable perfectly balanced at the 4-4 spot with a 60% chance to sneak in. And then Fuller and Bellis, and this is live because I know Bellis was at 29 and Fuller was at 27. And I think that Trav was actually at 8%. So some of these trades, some people, things happening, numbers are moving. But both those guys, 29% chance. Uh, Bill and Paul both about 20. Aiden at 16, and then the Morgue not out yet, but only looking like a 6% chance. And if he loses this week, it might be tough to get in. Took all these numbers and I put these into a little bit of a spreadsheet. So we got it all here. I did some extrapolation and some manipulation, and I have a projected what I think the playoff picture is going to look like. Here, this week 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, these are the actual matchups. These W's here are my projections. And I basically gave Barry wins all the way out. I gave VJ wins all the way out unless he was facing Barry. I gave Tyrell and kind of took whoever had the most points for best record and gave them wins. I gave Fuller and I split wins. We faced each other twice. I think that's probably the most likely outcome. And then the only other one that might not be chalk is next week. George has the Eagles bye week, which is I think Bellis has a tough bye week with the Rams as well, but I think he's probably going to lose to Tyrell regardless. So this was my best like chalk of what it's going to look like. So with that being said, the playoff line over here. This line would be who makes the playoffs, so it would be everyone right now that has 5 wins. I would sneak in. Fuller would be on the outside looking in with Billy and Bellis. Now let's take a look. Travis is in tough shape, but if Travis were to win out the rest of the season, and we assume chalk everywhere else, it is looking. Just gotta get this.
Bro, you're a fucking wizard with this shit. It's incredible. I would also, as you're doing that, oh, he would.
And in this scenario, again based on the chalk, I would end up 7-7. George would actually not make it in this one. So I think
what I'm wondering, this is a general question. Let's say, as it is, George and Fuller would both be 6-8. Where do they play? Have they already played, and who won? A lot of questions coming out.
Yep. So in that scenario, George has already
it
played
had
Fuller
George
and does
above.
not face him again. So they don't play each
So
other the rest of the season.
Did George win? Oh yeah, that was the week George won, right?
I don't
Fuller
think
got
head-to-heads matter as opposed to just points for.
Oh, it's just points for. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
In which case,
but
I
if
think
it's points for,
Fuller would be But again, in this scenario, if I got another loss, so let's see that if that could be if Fuller goes 2-0 on me, right?
Right. If you guys all end up at 6-8, it's coming down to points
right
for,
now, I
which
have
Fuller is leading right now.
Oh wait, these standings aren't good. I didn't take away the wins. This is what it would actually be like. Um, Travis still would be making it in.
It'd
Yeah, so
still be in at
same,
8 and
still same
6,
thing.
right?
Yeah. Um, but actually, George would
Right.
be 6-8, and Fuller would be
That
five
would
and
bump
nine.
George out.
Um,
Right.
yeah. So all this to say, Trav is still alive, and I think he is still in his own control. Getting 8 wins. I'm trying to think of some math that you could do. Like Aiden doesn't have any wins left. Paul isn't getting any wins. You would need to give these guys wins and take them away. Take wins from here and allocate it to these top players to kind of push Travis out, but I don't think it's happening. Um, so let's see. That's a scenario if Trav wins out. Can Barry miss the playoffs? He has that 98%. Let's see what that realistically looks like. Um, so we take away all Barry's wins.
Hey, VJ might win that straight up anyway, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, anything is possible, right?
Sandals. The
Um,
Sandals Resort at Guantanamo Bay.
so if Barry lost out, VJ would take the 1 seed. You would probably have the 2 seed over Sean. I would be in. Barry would be in a 4-way tie with Fuller, Billy, and Bellis. Can we
Look at
give?
that points for, though. Kid's a fucking dog.
So in that scenario, he would be in. So for that, Barry's 98% chance to make it, he would need to lose out. And can we give Fuller a win? Winning. If Fuller beats you, he would be in, and Barry would not make it. So that's something. Oops, wrong one.
I see when I play Fuller. That's the other thing that's tough to get on this is like who's on a
If
bye and who's
Billy,
not is like trying to.
if Billy got some wins, he could usurp it too. He's not getting a lot here, so it looks like if Billy has some losses and if Billy and Bellis lose and Fuller lose and I lose, I guess too, that's kind of Barry can't not make it. He wants the bad teams to
Oh,
continue to lose and the good teams to continue to stay.
so week 13, interestingly enough, is that this is why I've been trading like a fucking maniac today because I realized that everybody has a week 13 bye. Devonta Adams, Mark Andrews, now Gus Edwards, James
Yep.
Cook, so my entire fucking team. So I play Fuller in week 13. So we'll fucking see what happens. I mean, I did just acquire Gibbs from him and I gave him Cook and Kincaid, who will both be on a bye that week. So he'll have Henderson. That'll be and I think Kyron Williams will be back at that point. So it's going to be a tight matchup between me and Fuller, and that could be his make or break for the playoffs, week 13.
So speaking of Fuller, he is right on the cusp the way things are going. I think for him really, so right now, if everything goes as like chalk in my head, Fuller would need just one win somewhere to pass me or tie me or George. If Fuller goes 2-0 against me and all the chalk happens, I would be on the outside looking in, and Fuller would make it.
It's so crazy how interactive this fucking thing is, dude.
Yeah,
I
wait, did I
know
pick the
for
wrong
you
one? Oh,
this is simple, but for the brickheads like me, this looks unbelievable.
so yeah, here Fuller would be in and I would be out. So if he just goes 2-0 against me, I can still beat Paul. This has me losing to George. Well, say I beat George, I think that still gets Fuller in. I think that this one doesn't really matter too much for him because
Yeah, that would just bump George. That would bump George out to
right.
to 6 and 8, right? And that would move you back up. So I'm nervous for George. I'm nervous for this team,
Yeah.
especially if he pulls the trigger on.
Yeah.
If we wake up tomorrow and he pulls the trigger on this Jalen Hurts trade that's supposedly happening, like, and he's just loaded with all Eagles and like, I
So I
don't
mean,
know,
look,
one
like this
injury
scenario right
happens.
here,
It's just
right? We have like George, from his point or from Fuller's point of view, lost to VJ, which is like okay. Win against Bill, I think that's probably a fair split. This has him beating me twice, but I am a game up, so that would like bring him kind of into the fold. And again, this matchup with me and George, if you take the win away from me and go to George, like one of us is not making it, and Fuller is still in that scenario. And that's with
Right.
Fuller taking an L to you and an L to. Oh no, that he has a lot of wins. Um, so yeah, that would be Fuller getting 5 wins rest of the season, which is pretty solid. Um,
He's got some work to do, but that's doable. 5 out of 7's not that's not the
yeah,
craziest
oh, that's
shit.
2 losses.
You
That's
could do
that's VJ and you losses, and then
right,
beating
right.
me twice, Travis, which hopefully he can beat, and then Billy, which that's always a classic matchup. But um, George in this scenario actually is on the outside looking in. And I don't think that this is terribly unreasonable for George. He win against Travis, uh, a loss to Sean, lost to you, and lost to Barry, which are some juggernauts.
Yeah, he's got a tough schedule coming up.
Does he face you twice?
He faces me twice. Is that real? Fact check. Let's see. Week 14, I do indeed have George, and week 11, I have George.
So
Home and
you
away game, you
so
know.
okay, Fuller and I have this where we face each other twice. Is everyone like that? Barry and Paul?
Ah,
No, Barry and Aiden.
I don't know.
Um, so yeah, that's
Maybe it's I
again
don't
like
know.
you twice. That Barry's team is terrifying. Your team is also very frightening. Um,
I I want to see what my team looks like tomorrow at like I don't know when Fuller and I punched the ticket on that trade, but like 12:30. Like I need to see it because I don't even know what the fuck I did today. I blew it up. I
and
fucking blew it up.
and this has George beating Trav. We just talked about that Eagles one where George is in tough shape. He needs a win this week against
You
me.
gotta bump that. There's no chance he can beat Trav that week. There's no way. His whole team is Eagles, dude.
George
He's
is
gonna be
looking
a wave.
wins
Dude,
are
you know
looking
what is crazy?
scarce.
Romeo, he's not even going to be able to field a team because all of he's not going
He's
to
gonna have to
drop
drop people,
Dallas
right?
Goddard, Devontae Smith. He's not going to have enough players, dude. He's going to be literally no flex
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
unless he can
it's.
put somebody on the IR or like he's not going to have enough players.
I think George needs. If George gets 2 wins, if he beats me, and let's say he beats Trav, I think he's in.
What if he splits with me? What if he wins one of
But
mine
loses to Trav,
but loses to Trav? There's no
I
way
think
he
he's
beats Trav week 10.
still in.
There's just no way. Let's just do if he beat me week 11 or something or yeah or that one.
If he splits with you, yeah, he'd be in.
So
Uh,
he needs.
I'd be out. Him and Fuller would
So
both be
that's him.
in.
Just two. That's just 2 wins to punch his ticket.
Oh wait, actually, that might have me. Let me go back to the main timeline. And then we have George not beating me or beating me. Yeah, he beats me, and then George loses to Travis, and he splits with you. Um, that would have him in.
Yeah.
And that's
So
me.
basically,
So that's me.
the magic number appears to be 7.
Right. If you get, it's kind of a
There's a,
path to 7 wins.
right. There's a chance you could get in at 6 and 8 if you have a massive points for and there's a jam up, but like the magic number is 7.
Right. Right. And in these scenarios too, it's looking very hard for Barry and VJ to lose the 1 and 2 seed. I think that their schedule is a little bit easier relative to everyone else. Like Barry has Sean and VJ are actually two tough ones. So maybe he could lose both of those. Um,
Yeah, VJ's yeah.
but then he's
Yeah.
got Aiden, Bellis, George, Paul. I kind of Barry's team should win all those, I think. In that timeline, we've got Barry just misses the 2 seed. Sean and VJ would have it. You and Barry would actually be tied there. You must have a tough schedule too. But it is interesting.
Well,
I think any team
yeah.
can make it. The one last one I wanted to do is I know Bellis is right on the outside, so I want to see what he can do to try to get in. Um, so Bellis this week is against Trav, so that's a win, hopefully. Against you next week, and we looked at that matchup, and that looks tough with the Rams bye, so probably not that one. Maybe he sneaks a win in against Sean. Probably not against Barry. Win against Aiden. He'd be at 6 wins now. Does that?
This might be the first year that the odd season that Bellis doesn't make it. He's won every odd year that we've had.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Bellis
he's
to.
made it to the chip. Sorry, made it to the chip.
I think Bellis to get in needs to beat. Uh, who was it? Not you. Sean and VJ. If he can get those wins, I think Bellis is in. Oh, is he
Yeah,
still not in? Oh, because that
that puts him
gives.
at the 6-8 jam up. Yeah, it's just magic number 7, dude. Magic number 7.
Am I not doing something right here? No, all the wins look right.
No, I think it's just if we go by what like the other scenarios were, where you guys end up at 7-7, like he's got to get 7.
See, the thing is too, like if you give me a loss, it's probably giving Fuller a win, which just like flips us.
Right,
I think it's hard
right.
for I guess I think it's hard for Fuller and I both to make it. I think if Fuller beats me twice, he's probably in, and I think if I beat Fuller twice, I'm probably in, and if we split, it's going to come down to a close one. But
Yeah,
yeah, are there any
it's,
scenarios you wanted me
it's
to
gonna be.
crunch, or I think pretty
Nah,
good on
dude,
this?
I think I think everyone's probably stared at this screen and watched the beauty of this beautiful spreadsheet here. And magic number 7, that's really it. And we got some dog fights coming up, and we'll just see what happens with the bye weeks. This is when managers manage. We also you just squashed it that there is no trade deadline for us, right? Our trade deadline is playoffs.
Yeah, okay. To squash the fake news, I went in the app and our trade deadline is December 1st, which is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks from now. It's on a Friday. I'm pretty sure that it's right before the
Fantastic.
playoffs. So, um,
Yeah, end of week 13, start of week 14. Thank God,
right.
because I was also getting a little nervous. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I don't know if I want to keep all these guys, and I think some people went into panic mode. So, but
Fire
it appears we
sales.
have some more time, guys. Fire sales, Devonte Adams for a trash bag.
um,
Oh, God, I can't think of the kid's last name from Staples now. Fuck.
oh,
Oh no, I knew I was gonna forget it. I
it
almost
was a year
texted you, but I
ahead of
wanted it to be
us?
a surprise. He's a year ahead of you. I'll say his first name is Will. Damn it, I
Will.
fucked it up. I knew I was gonna do that. Oh, it was such a good one, dude.
I'm blanking.
I got nothing, dude. It's my brain is
If
so
it comes to you,
stupid.
just blurt it out.
I will just blurt it out, dude. It's such a good one. I was ready to get the boys buzzing. Oh,
All right, so first matchup preview. Me against the commish. I think this one's going to be close. I think that this has big implications for both of us. If I win, I'm like climbing up the ladder. We're both 5-3. I'll have more points for. And if I lose, George just kind of kicks me down the ladder, and it's like, yeah, stay out of the playoffs. I'm in. Because he's got a couple matchups where I think he can get a win. So close matchup, big implications.
yeah, yeah, big one. Nothing much to say. Stables have been renovated.
Yeah, not a whole lot of buy action there. Pretty good match. Next one, we've got another one with some playoff implication. VJ trying to get that 1-2 seed. Fuller trying to sneak in. This one pretty
I
low on the
got
project.
I got Fuller.
I think
I
people
got
have
Fuller
some
here.
trades
Fuller's
coming
making
through.
moves.
Yeah. It,
Yeah.
does VJ have some buys this week? No.
Yeah. Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey.
Jags. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
McCaffrey
and
and
jagging off.
Etienne. So both of their kind
But
of
you know what though? you look at Fuller just fucking managing, doing what he's got to do to win. The
Yeah.
kid's a grinder. He's got Gibbs on a bye. He's got who's the other one on a bye? Cortland Sutton, Travis Etienne on a bye. And he's like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna cash some checks and snap some necks. And he went out there and he made some deals. And I sent him. I said, yo, James Cook for Gibbs. I said I'll sprinkle in Kincaid, and he just shot me back like, not with Lenny coming to town, no chance. And then like 2 in the morning, I get a text from him, and he goes, we might have something though. And like all this morning, we're texting back and forth till like fucking noon before we finally agreed on the deal. And but the kid is just he's snapping
I
necks and cashing checks, and he's ready to roll. And I hope that he gets a dub. I really do. I want to see the fantasy. I want to see it come down to like your two matchups and your head to heads, and like whoever gets in, best man win between you and Fuller. That's what I want to see. You know.
I gotta say that I don't think I've ever been close to making a deal with Fuller, and today we were going back and forth and nothing happened, but I I feel like trade relations went way up. Like we were as
He
close as
was
we've
he was
ever been.
reasonable. He was reasonable
He's
today, and
making
I think it's
moves.
because he was in desperation mode. He's in desperation mode. He's on bye week trades. It's
He
fire sales, but
knows what he wants to know what you want, and wants to make something happen. It's,
the best is when you get a text like every hour on the hour, like, where we at? How we feeling? What's going on?
how we doing? How we doing? Keep it
Yeah.
moving. So yeah, this is a great
How we
a
doing? Keep it
great
moving.
matchup.
Yeah, this feels like the matchup of the week for me.
Up next, we've got Barry and Sean, and again, some of these guys, the way the standings have kind of riffed. There's like Barry, VJ, you and Sean all up, and George all up at the top, and then everyone else is kind of down low. Now the Titans have to clash amongst themselves. So again, someone's got to lose here, which is again hope I'm pulling for Barry to just sneak in. I think the 1 seed is out of my reach. But you just look at his team, and there's so many guys that can just win you the week. Like Tyreek Hill could go for 40. Travis Kelsey could go for 40. Kamara could go for 40. Josh Allen could go for 40. So, yeah,
It's crazy. His
big
team is
spread.
just stacked. Looking at 131 on the projection is
It's
bananas.
been
Like everybody else,
131 weekly. It's
I think I had 126 my first week, and I was feeling so fucking good. And then I mean, like 131 is insanity.
so
Shout
that's
out to Allen and his boys, dude. The boys are back.
the boys are back, and then we've got
This would be a big dub for Sean, but
big
you
dub
know,
for Sean. Yeah,
we'll
if
see.
Sean wins, I think he's probably in the playoffs. Again, Barry needs to lose out and have other things happen to not make it. Um, Next up, we've got Bill and Paul, and again, Bill, another guy wheeling and dealing. Paul has made some moves. I mean, small sample size, but so far, D Hop has gotten 3 touchdowns 100% of the games he's played with Will Levis. So who knows?
I mean, I love the tether, dude. He just scooped up Will Levis. I absolutely love it. They're at Pittsburgh. Personally, I fucking hate Pittsburgh. I know Romeo's a little higher on Pitt than I am, but hey, if Will Levis keeps it up, that would be incredible for him. Another, again, Connecticut guy. See if Joe Mixon can ride the high. DK Metcalf a little more healthy. So
And
Paul could maybe steal one, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what trade Bill ends up making because it
Bill
sounds like he's got
moved
something in the works.
Monroe St. Brown already, right?
Yes, he moved him, Zach Moss, and
To Aiden
who was the other one
for
part of
CeeDee
that?
Lamb?
And Christian Kirk for Saquon and CD, right? Is that what it was? Yeah,
Yeah,
Bill's team. Wait, can we talk about this? Bill's
yeah,
team actually just got so much better. He didn't
yeah.
give up that much. I don't know about that trade. Like Christian Kirk's all right. I don't think he's the guy. I kind of expressed some interest to Bill, and Bill's just like, "Nah, Christian Kirk's my guy. Keep it 100." I'm like, "All right, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you can keep Christian Kirk." But yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously, that's a big name. Oh, and he gave up D Mercado too. It was
Right, which
yeah, but
I think his stock's going down
but
with
that's only.
Kyler
Oh
coming
yeah, for
back.
sure. Zach Moss splits with Johnny T, and I think Johnny T is better. Um, I, DeMercado, I don't know how many weeks he's got left till James Conner comes back. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a stud, but to give up CD who just put up 35 and then Saquon, it's like, oof. There's some
Yeah,
big names. So now, dude, you talk about horses in the stable. Bill's got Johnny T and Saquon. Those are a couple of quad gods. That's
couple
pretty
of
fucking scary.
stallions, absolutely. So
That's
yeah,
pretty scary.
this will be an interesting one. Yeah, Will Levis against the new look stable for Bill.
Yeah.
And then your matchup, you and Aiden, and again, your team is pretty terrifying as well. It's not quite that 130, but pushing 115 has got to feel nice.
Yeah. We'll see what happens when we acquire our next piece here. I mean, Gibbs is on a bye, so actually that's not going to matter for this week. Um, yeah, it just seems like Aiden just blew up the team. Like we just said, he gave up Saquon and he gave up CD, and I just feel like I don't know what he really got back. I mean, a couple of 2 week players. I don't know, man. He's really trying to embrace the name of the morgue. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
Gabe Davis on the bench. He just must not have set that. You gonna rock Tyler Boyd over Gabe
Yeah,
Davis? Hey,
and
maybe.
Barkley's going. I'm looking at the checks, and it's like a lot on your side. It's like, oh, running. Oh,
Oh yeah, he won't be
he's not there.
there.
So we'll
He
see.
actually is not. Yeah, I
And
don't
then
know. I'd like to chalk it up as a dub, so I hope that's
I was
that.
looking at Trav's team trying to make some deals and kind of had him in like fire sale mode trying to scrape by not the shotgun, but we just crunched the numbers and his playoff hopes are still alive. And I mean, coming up against Bellis, it's going to be close. 5 point difference. And uh, I think that the Buffalo game with Cincinnati, they're going to push each other pretty high. So it could be a big digs kind of night. Um,
Mhm.
we'll see. This,
I think hot take. I think Garrett Wilson is gonna ball. I mean, they're playing the Chargers. I think that they're gonna get a chance to just sling, and I think maybe he sneaks in a touchdown. I'm gonna project 20 from Garrett Wilson this week. On the week of the trade for Trav. Hope
Bellis went
nothing but the
Brees
best
Hall.
for Garrett Wilson. I don't think so.
She's got him on the bench. Okay.
That's an interesting move.
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay, putting him on
That
the
could
bench,
be
huh?
that could be a big one if Brees Hall is in for Bellis and Garrett Wilson is in for the Jets and for Trav and they score a touchdown. It's like Trav is pumped regardless because he's a Jets fan, but
Oh yeah,
really pumped on
big
the
Jets
Garrett
guy,
Wilson, far less on the Brees Hall side. So that'll
big
do it for
time.
our predictions for Week 9. And then, last but not least, we got something spicy cooked up. And just to set the table, last week we had a 5 leg parlay, and the leg that missed was the Kansas City Chiefs money line against the Broncos. Patrick Mahomes had never lost a road divisional game. He had never lost to a team that was 2 games below 500. He had not lost to the Broncos career, and the Kansas City had beaten the Broncos, 16 times in a row? So, man, we were
Yep.
so close on that one to getting back right. But what are we going to do? We're just going to take that energy and funnel it into this next one. Um, so we got another 5 leg parlay, bet 10 to win 100. Uh, Washington, absolute fire sale. They got rid of everyone against the Patriots at home. Bill is trying to chase Shula on the wins. Everyone matters. We know there's a lot of New England homers here, so we'll cook them up so it's something you can kind of get behind. Up next, we've got Ravens Seahawks, little bird battle. Baltimore has been looking dominant though, and I saw this stat with Lamar Jackson where I believe he's 18-1 against NFC teams that see him for the first time. And I think the Seahawks might have seen him before, but I don't know if the recency, they have a lot of rookies. They had like the most rookie snaps last year. So new Seahawks team seeing Lamar, he's just a freak athlete and it takes a little bit to adapt to him. Next, we've got the Falcons money line against the Vikings. Who do the Vikings have at QB? Who'd they sign? Josh Dobbs? Is that like the Vikings are in tough shape? They're just I don't think they're any good. Falcons, they just named a new QB and they got Bijan ready to go. They're at home, like the Falcons there. Here, a little spicy, the spiciest pick. We got the Rams over Green Bay. I was watching this YouTube comedian Tom DeGrassi, big Green Bay Packers fan, and he did this deep dive about he doesn't know when the next Green Bay Packers win is coming. And it was a little bit of a dark time, but I like the Rams. They might not have Stafford, but Cooper Kupp, Puka, they'll figure it out no matter who's slinging it to them. And then we got the Saints minus 2.5 alternate spread against the Bears. We were gonna pick the Saints money line, but if they're gonna win by at least a field goal. So might as well get that extra money and get us up to a nice 100. What? Anything you don't love about this, Tyrol?
Um, you know what the one thing that I was thinking about is actually I love the bet. If
Lay it on
you
me.
know who the Kansas, do you know who the Kansas City Chiefs were feeling like last week?
Lay it on me.
A graduate of the 2011 class, okay? A Staples employee from Old Saybrook. Someone by the name of Will Harrell.
Will Harrell.
Crickets, because nobody fucking knows, but he was in our school apparently. I got no picture. I need somebody from the league to tell me who the fuck is Will Harrell. Who's Will
Will
Harrell?
Harrell. We need to know
Will
if you
Harrell.
have information on this man. Bounty will ensue.
I don't know. I don't know. That's what he said his name is. He said he's 2011. I said no shit, man. 2013. Anyway,
I'll have to
love
look
the
in the
bet.
yearbook because I might have
Um,
some where I have overlap and see if I can
if
snipe
you've
this
got a
guy.
2011, you'll have it. So
All right, and that does it for the Week 8 recap. Best of luck, and everyone is still alive, but I think after this week, people will start to separate, and some people will be in, and some people might not be in. So we'll just have to see. But take care, Wildcat Nation.